See. All right, I think we're live now. Maybe someone will jump onto
Yeah.
our Zoom call and make racial slurs. You heard about
Is that the new thing these days?
well, Zoom has just basically a 9-digit number, right? For the
Hmm.
for the meeting ID. So you can just war dial, try different numbers, and then eventually like get into someone's Zoom meeting.
Well, they had to find that vulnerability at some point, so
Yeah, I mean
I
it's
guess they
like
found it.
log me in or not log me in. There was that other one. There was some other one that I was using for a while. That was a web-based one that did the same thing, and I remember making a program that would try a bunch of them, and then you jump onto people's calls and just start chatting with them.
I know, I don't know what you get out of it, but yeah, sure, do
Yeah,
it.
but they're making a big thing like it's a huge security vulnerability and everything. When in Zoom, all you have to do is make it so that someone has to request permission to enter. Like, so I don't know. We'll see. But, so
Well,
how's quarantine treating you?
it's the day seven of the new quarantine, the second quarantine.
Okay, no symptoms.
No symptoms.
Good.
I
All right.
actually had fever in the first week, and
Of
that's
the
why I was,
of the first quarantine, not of the new one.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's why I had to be forced to go to the hospital to get tested.
Yeah.
So I did get tested. I got the results. They were negative. But because I was in the isolation ward, the COVID-19 isolation wards, I have to be isolated again for 2 weeks starting last Saturday. So it's week one now,
Yeah.
almost
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
And next one more week to go. But no, ever since I came back from the hospital, I've been okay. So,
That's good. Yeah. Just I guess that's
yep.
just some unfortunate luck that you happen to get sick with something else as your.
Yeah, it could be just another kind of flu. And given the way the Delhi airport was, I'm actually pleasantly surprised I didn't pick up Corona, given how crowded that place was with 5,000 people. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it's the odds are really low, right, of getting it just because
Well, when you
of.
have that many people, the odds suddenly like just don't.
I
It's
know,
just so many people.
but when you think about it in terms of sheer numbers, like of the population of that area and the percentage of people that actually have it, even if it's underreported by 10x, it's still like, it's still like a 1 in 100,000 chance or something like that. Like,
Well, yes, except that when you're at an airport and people are coming from all over and potentially sick people are traveling just to get back home, it does become a little bit of a threat.
well, that's still factored into the whole like odds, right?
Airport
Because
is like the last place you want to be. The last two
yeah,
places
it's
you want to
not,
be: airplane, airport, and hospital. And I've done all three of
yeah,
them. Not only normal hospital, I've done a COVID-19 isolation ward. So,
right.
dude, I've been through the ringer.
Well, yeah. I mean, that just shows you the odds, though, right? Because you've been through the
Well,
most
that
likely
also shows me
places.
the luck. Or like
Yeah.
I got
No.
lucky in this whole process, and I'm counting my blessings for that.
I would say it's more like from a mathematical perspective, it's more that you didn't get unlucky, that you had the standard expected outcome for the based on the odds, right? It's like because
Fair,
again, like I
fair,
said,
fair.
like people have been going to airports and if the infection rate in the airport was significantly higher, then the spread rate would be significantly higher. So the odds are factored into that already, if you think about it, right? I mean, sure, you're pushing it more in one
Yeah.
direction or the other, but overall, the odds say, yeah, you have to be pretty quote lucky to get COVID-19 at this point. Now, in a couple of weeks, I think the odds will shift. So, but
Shift the other way.
yeah, they may.
Well, right now they're saying 240,000 deaths. And if people still assume that it's not 1% mortality, people assume it's 0.5% mortality. That's telling you 48 million infections in US.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just had a uncontrolled logarithmic growth, but the
No,
I
I'm
mean,
talking about the death projections by the president and by the CDC.
Yeah.
I'm taking those numbers and I'm extrapolating it back from, or taking those numbers and saying, okay, what were the percentages? What percent of people who are infected what's the mortality rate on the infection?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. If
Exactly.
you argue it's 0.1%, then that actually means 240 million people have to get infected for
Right.
240,000 people to die. That means 80% of American population gets infected.
Yeah, which is unlikely. It's more like probably going to be like 60 to 40% at the
Right.
highest end of it.
The question is, what is the real, like, is mortality rate 1% or 0.1%? We don't know, but the death projection is 240,000.
Well, I'll tell you what'll be what'll be the biggest predictor, like will change the game here, is when they have the antibody tests to see if you've already had it. Because this may have been spreading around in November and December. And if it was, then there's going to be a lot more people that have had it that are asymptomatic carriers and already have the immunity, right? So that'll be interesting. That will tell you really how much more to expect. It's going to tell you when you're going to hit that point of that flat point, right? So
that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see though. I think people are still underestimating it though. I think the market hadn't priced it in. I shorted the market on Monday. Was it Monday, Tuesday? Yeah, I shorted the market hard on Monday. And guess what? I shorted. I shorted real estate and small cap stocks.
Oh my God. I mean, you could have shorted travel, but it's probably shorted to the wazoo anyways.
Travel's already anticipated. Small cap stocks and real estate are the key, because that's the things that people that are optimistic and hopeful, they're not planning on those things tanking, but I know they're going to tank. Small cap stocks are they're not quite small businesses, but the thing is, this is going to carry on for a year, if not more. So
yeah, the drag on the business will be for a year, if not more. The drag on the health system, we'll see. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Not 2 months, probably 4 months is probably the real number. It's the uncertainty that's the killer, not the killer itself.
Yeah, right? For sure. That's it. Yeah.
The killer of business is not the killer itself, but it's the uncertainty, the fear. So I still think, and we can all agree, disagree on that, but I still think a China-style lockdown for 2 months would have taken out all the uncertainty from the equation. Just shut it down for 2 months. Let's all accept that we're going to shut down for 2 months. It's all good. 2 months shut down. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt your business. I get it. But 2 months. We're just asking for 2 months. If we had all just agreed to 2 months of misery, we would be out of unknown misery. But the unknown misery is what's killing business. The accepted 2 months of misery would have actually kept business intact. Yeah. If everyone knew that if we just shut down for 2 months, and if we do that, life will be back to normal in 2 months. If as scientists, and as scientists, we understood that, but as politicians, if we had agreed to the idea that just shut down for 2 months, March and April, we'll just shut down the whole country, but we'll be back in May. That's true. That would have happened if we had agreed to that.
If you just froze in time, right? So the way that would work, that would actually be successful, would be you shut down the stock market, you shut down all financial transactions, basically. You shut down all mortgage payments, all rents, everything. So everything goes on pause for 2 months. Like no one's fired, no one's paid, nothing, and then the federal government comes in and gives people food, essentially, right? To survive.
Federal government comes in and pays everyone $1,000 a week or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Just to buy
$1,000 a week. Yeah. Just to buy food, and that's it. Like $1,000 a month for survival for 2 months. Pause the country, pause everything for 2 months. That would have saved tons of businesses. And tons of lives.
Well, it would have been even. would have been even simpler, which would have, I mean, obviously this is all in, hindsight, and this was what will happen next time, I guarantee you, is just shutting the borders immediately. All borders shut. If they shut borders immediately, as soon as this happened, as soon as China, and shut borders for 1 month, it would not have been able to make it. But that
but
would,
the thing
and then
is,
there would be,
right now we have the opportunity. Right now we still have the opportunity to shut down and say, all right, we've taken enough of a hit. Let's still shut down for 2 months. But I don't think that's going to happen. And unfortunately, that's the drag on business is because of the uncertainty, not because of the disease.
And that's why I'm betting against the market right now, is because I know that
uncertainty is going to continue to kill for another 3-4 months. What could have been 2 months, people will take. I seriously believe people will take 2 months of complete, like, don't give me food for 2 months, but like, let's stay alive for 2 months, right? People would take that over 6, 10, or over uncertainty where they don't know when anything will happen.
Right. Well,
like right now, everyone is in such limbo that nobody has any clue how this will all play out.
Exactly. Well, I did a
models from
I did a video just talking about. I did a video just talking about the, like, will you lose your job and will you be able to get a new job? And when I was talking about getting a new job, I was like, the biggest problem with getting a new job is that uncertainty. And when there's uncertainty, companies don't hire because they don't know what their revenue is going to be in a month or two, so they're not going to hire you. They're freezing payroll. Like, it's not even that they're hurting as much or they don't have the money. It's that it's uncertainty. So that's why it's really bad. So
it's we had the model from Wuhan. We knew that Wuhan was doing what it was doing, and that had contained everything in China.
Well, maybe
like that was already understood. Well,
maybe
that was partly understood in late February. Like at least something. Late February, it was becoming visible that what was happening in China was out of control, but Wuhan was the only area where it was out of control, and they had bolted it down, and hence it wasn't spreading to other parts of the country as rapidly. It hadn't gone out of control as rapidly in other parts of the country. We had that model. We just grit your teeth, shut it down for 2 months. Everyone would be so happy knowing that we're just in it for 2 months. You give people known suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
Unknown suffering / non-suffering. The unknown suffering / non-suffering hurts 10 times more than the known suffering for a period of time.
Yeah.
That's unknown true. Fear that kills more than the known fear.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Well, that's what it is. But let's talk about business.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm doing now, which I think a lot of us can start to think about, is I'm reaching out to all of my potential affiliate partners. Like I've always had those, but I never really gave it enough time and energy. But now I'm like actively working with each of them, like actively reaching out to them, actively giving them options, actively telling them this is what's possible. These are the things we can do. And the thing is that people are so much more receptive to affiliate deals, especially in markets where their money is drying up right now. They have audiences, but their money is drying up, right? They have audiences with a specific, men's fashion.
Right.
All right. People are not buying fashion, but they're still men who are interested in their improvement, in their development. So they're still going to buy stuff that is more pertinent to their growth or to handle the current crisis.
Yeah. Well, I did a survey on my channel. I don't know if you saw the survey, and I asked what their biggest concern for the COVID-19 was. Like, I think I did it last week or this week, and the options were, with COVID-19 going on right now, what's your most important priority? Options were developing mental toughness, figuring out where to invest, building or keeping my physique without the gym, getting a new job or keeping my job, or learning to build a business so I can't be laid off? And what do you think was the number one?
I am biased. I would say building mental toughness.
You're right. It was 33%. It was, yeah,
Damn,
the highest one. So yeah, so
that's pretty
building mental
good.
toughness is definitely what people are looking for, at least in my audience right now. So
That's great.
yeah,
That's I mean, great in the sense people are aware that this
yeah,
is the opportunity in some ways to develop that skill of life.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm basically like I'm going out to a lot of my potential, like my friends from different walks of life who have audiences of different sizes in different fields. And I'm saying, hey, let's do an affiliate deal. And people are open. People are like starting to like be like, yeah, let's do it. Because what has happened is there's like this dichotomy, right? There are a lot of people who have built big audiences, but they don't have products.
right, yeah,
And a lot of like I have products. I don't have the giantest audience. It's only 50,000 subscribers on YouTube and things like that. But thankfully, now that I have the products, I can actually work with people who have audiences to sell
yeah,
what's relevant to them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a good product for the end times.
I feel like
The end
all
of the
three
world.
of them, I feel like there's quite a few of them that are actually well suited for this right now, for this situation. Mental toughness is by far one of the
Yeah,
best. Right now, mental toughness is probably one of the most important ones. But then also productivity, working from home and being productive from home.
yeah,
It's a big part of like, you want to make sure you survive this and continue to do your very best at your job or at your business.
yeah,
So productivity, you want to be productive at home and not just get distracted with all this shit to the point where you're half as productive as what you used to be. So that's the other one. And then entrepreneurship, right? Start a side hustle right now, start a business right now, because this shit, who knows how long this will last, and who knows how many people will still have jobs at the end of it all.
yeah,
So right now is the time to go build a business,
yeah. Or make money online, to be more specific
make
of
money
the,
online. Yeah,
yeah,
right now is the time to make money online,
yeah,
and let me show you how. So yeah, I think my quite a few of my products are well positioned for this market right now, and the
yeah,
meditation one as well, which I haven't even started digging into, but that one is another one.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, I'm basically reaching out to all of my friends in different niches who could all use some variants of this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in some ways, like the have you read Man's Search for Meaning? You have, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, I think Viktor Frankl, he said, you gave different ways to find meaning. But I feel like the bigger message in the book that sometimes gets lost is the idea that there are meaning by itself is one of the most powerful driving forces for us. Like meaning can help you survive, meaning can help you thrive, meaning can build hope, meaning can help you handle adversity, meaning can like help you through the toughest of conditions.
yeah,
And as I was doing this, as I was like analyzing everything that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, I was like, I have always maintained that even the toughest of times are good. Like they will make us better. They will make us stronger. They will like the meaning for me in all of this is that this will actually strengthen our business. This will actually make us better and stronger. That was
yeah,
always the meaning I took from this. And as I'm like doing the due diligence for all my affiliate deals, one of the things I realized is that this is something I would have never taken seriously. I would have
yeah,
continued to like just do what we do and continue to build the business the slow way. But now, suddenly, now that this is in front of me, and there's like this is possible. It's just the perfect time
yeah,
to, and not only that, this is a great way to turn this whole thing around into an advantage
yeah, yeah. No, that's true.
for
Yeah,
for not only myself but for my partners and for the people who want to learn these things.
Yeah, a lot of things will be, a lot of competition will be weeded out too, right? I think that's one of the key things. Even now, like advertising prices are going down, right? So like
Properly.
running, if you wanted to run. So now would be a good time to actually run like Facebook and YouTube ads with the goal of not necessarily selling the product, but of building the audience, because you could afford to do that now because you're not competing against people that are, right. If you invested some money now, that would probably be a decent investment. I mean, sure, if you can sell your
People
product.
are still selling on, yeah, people are still selling on Facebook, but they're
Yeah.
selling product pertinent to
Yeah,
the situation though,
exactly. Yeah.
right? They're selling products on how to survive in crisis,
Yeah.
how to be productive from home, or things like that. I am seeing those kinds of products. I'm not seeing regular products on Facebook anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
The business
Yeah.
bundle for hard times, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
how to run your own virtual summits. Things that like these things are actually taking. It makes sense that people would be buying these things right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The people that have
So
money.
I think if there is a positioning, for a product for this market's condition, then there's a way. There's a way to sell. The
Yeah.
position is what needs to be figured out. The position is the challenge right now. Like, how do you position your specific product to this market? Like the dating product, oof, man, that's a
Yeah.
really difficult one. I wouldn't want to be in dating space right now.
Yeah.
It's just almost brutal to try to do that right now. But a lot of other stuff, like how to market yourself as a software developer, I still think, of anything, that actually could be, you could improve the price on this, like, because like it is legit. Like that's the kind of stuff people need to worry about right now.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with all the layoffs and everything right now, it's going to be more
Yeah.
competitive again.
This
Whereas
this market is
before,
going to
yeah.
get super competitive. You're
Yeah.
going to need freelancing gigs. You're going to need side gigs to pay for whatever is happening. I think now is the time more than anything else to double down on something like that. I don't think the learn anything quickly is important. Well, maybe it is, but market yourself is a more immediate result.
Yeah. 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 I'm working on, got a couple of things in the works here. One of them, actually, I just brought on uh, an editor for the publishing platform for Simple Programmer. One of my actually editors from Manning, from back in the day that worked on my book, he's been following me for a while now, and I'm going to pay him a 10% royalty on all of the books that he publishes through Simple Programmer. So he's going to work with the authors, he's going to do the whole process, and then pick up royalties on it. But I should be publishing that remote workbook pretty soon now. That'll be good. And then I'm working on publishing Soft Skills, the second edition now, which is going to be his first project. I already have all the documents ready to go, and then we'll, I think the publishing arm will do well there. And since I'm paying it all based on commission, it doesn't cost me anything to, except for the cost of publishing the books themselves.
So
But
how is he going to validate all of that?
how's he going to validate what?
The data, whatever, like how much is royalty?
I mean, it'll be just through my accounting, right? Which he can
Through your
have.
word.
Yeah.
The reason
Yeah.
I'm asking is because I had a copywriter reach out to me, and the guy's solid. Like finally,
Yeah.
like because I have the application up for copywriter, and I've received like probably 20, 30 applications. None of them were as good. This guy is spot on. Like his stuff is really good.
Yeah.
The suggestion, basically, I asked in my application, in my copywriter application, like, give me suggestions to improve this sales page and that sales page, and his suggestions were like really good.
Yeah.
The guy told me that, I charge around $35 an hour, but I'd much rather work on a commission basis. Like depending on the sales I get you just give me a percent of the sale.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that's pretty good. Now I just need to figure out how to give him, like, how to make him part of that deal. Like, how do I make him feel secure that he's going to get his money and all that stuff?
I mean, the biggest thing is that, well, first of all, the biggest thing is that it has to be based on trust. So there's really like that's key. But secondarily, within the contract, you have to put in the right for them to audit, to have an independent audit on your books, or that your books are available for them to see at any time, right? That's gonna, you know, that'll build that safety in there, right? I mean, the problem is that if you get to the point where someone has to like essentially bring in an auditor, then that's a bad, like you shouldn't really be doing business anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, that's how you mitigate that is, right? I mean, unless you're totally cooking the book, I mean, you're obviously filing taxes, you're right. So those books should be legitimate.
No, I want to give the guy his fair share. I'm
Yeah.
more than happy to give him the fair share every single time. I just want to make sure that he feels secure in
Right.
that, and he feels like he's going to give his very best because he's going to get the exact numbers that we have talked.
Yeah, that's why I said if you just make it so that the books can be audited, then that should be fine.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, you can just
I will
send this
talk to him.
financial statement every quarter or every month, however you want to do it too, just your profit and loss, and then he can see it for himself. So, I mean, sure, you could, be making that up, but it's, it's unlikely. So, especially if you're getting it every month and you can see the changes over time, right? So,
yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him and see. I definitely think he is way better a copywriter than I am.
Good.
Which
then that's
is always exciting. Yeah. Anytime you can find someone better than you at the job, then you shouldn't be doing that job.
Yeah.
Because it's a waste of time and resources.
So I did an initiative yesterday to get people that are canceling either coaching or the membership, to basically give them free coaching or free membership until they get through the difficult times. So we'll see how that. So far, I added like 37 reactivated members to the membership. So
yeah, that's a good one. One thing I noticed, someone did that with me. They said, okay, I was about to cancel one of the services, and they said, hey, how about we don't even charge you for the next 2 months? Just pause your payments. And then even when you come back, when all of this COVID thing has subsided, then we will charge you 50% of what we're charging you right now until you get everything back on track.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back to normal rates.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, I was thinking about it, and it's like, even if people say they're going to come back, like that, there's a big barrier, like a
starting point. Yeah.
Right. To re-sign up for something versus if you're, if the payments just start coming back and then you have to, cancel versus, so it's better to just keep it continuous. And a lot of companies are doing that now, just, so.
Yeah. That would have been, I think that's a pretty good strategy. Like to say, I won't charge you anything for 2 months. And even when everything goes away, then we'll charge you like while the COVID goes on, we'll charge you like 50%.
Yeah.
I think an even more better thing would be like, just tell us what you think is fair.
Yeah.
For the time
exactly.
Right? To get you the value that you want. And when we're through this, then we can go back to the normal rates. And you can choose to not continue or continue at that point. But just give us what you think is fair.
Yeah.
Right. That way you keep that person in your ecosystem and you build a lot of loyalty with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You build a lot of brand equity, like equity with them.
Yeah. Yep.
I think my money in Fundrise is gonna die.
Shoot.
It's not much. I had.
That's peer-to-peer.
$15,000.
That's a real estate one. That's not peer-to-peer lending. It's real. Yeah.
No, it's real estate, commercial real estate. I have 15K in there, so I think I've already written it off in my mind. I'm like, I may never see it again.
Wait a minute. You're telling me commercial real estate's going to tank this whole time while you're invested in commercial real estate?
I actually, no, it's commercial of residential commercial,
Okay.
apartment buildings, etc.
Yeah. No, that's one of the things I'm shorting. I have a 3x lever on it. I bought an ETF that has a 3x lever on real estate, and I'm up 25% so far in small cap and real estate. So just 25% in like 3 days. So
How much you put? What is it, an option?
no, it's just an ETF that has a 3x lever on it. So they basically it's a leverage ETF. So I only put 100 into it. I didn't put the full force of what I lost into, of what I had left, because
you're still burnt from it.
Still fucking gun shy. Yeah, I'm trying to recover some of what I lost. And so far,
I don't think that's a good way to look at it, but yeah.
Well, the way I looked at it is this: is like, what do I know, right? Like, what inside information do I have that I know? Well, here's what I know. I know that people that can afford to pay me $1,500 an hour, that are making really good money, that are top level software developers and professionals, are losing their jobs and unable to find new jobs. And so if those people are hurting, that means that everyone is going to be hurting, right? If those people who have the highest level of skill and highly paid are hurting and can't find new jobs, that means that things are going to be bad. And I also know that that this is, that small businesses are going to be affected way more. I can look at my own sales and I can extrapolate. I'm online, and then I can look at
well,
it.
there are certain sectors that are going to get affected way more. That's even more so, right?
Well, here's the only question you have to ask, right? This is where I came to, right, in order to make this investment. As I said, 6 months from now, will small cap stocks be doing better than they are right now, or worse?
Like, or businesses. Challenge is which sector? Which sector?
Small cap businesses. Businesses in general.
Which, well, like small cap is everything. So which cap?
It doesn't matter. Just take business in general. Will businesses be doing better in 6 months from now, or worse?
No.
They're going to be doing worse. It's like a year from now, will they be doing better or worse? They're going to be doing worse, right? Like, this is bad. Real estate, right?
Well, I mean, well, hang on though. Today is pretty bad anyways. So I'm not sure if they will actually be much worse than where they are right now, because business is dried up like to the wazoo right now. Like, it's gone for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, in general, they'll be in a worse position. Let me put it that way, right?
Yeah, they'll be out of cash, and that will put them in a lot of bind.
Carnival Cruise Lines right now is spending $500 million a month just to keep their boats, right? 500 million a month just to keep their boats. That's it. And based on this, like real estate, is there any possible way that real estate will not go down in a year? I mean, think about it. There's no way real estate is going to tank. It's just, I mean, and I'm saying this as being someone who holds a lot of real estate. I know that it's going to tank. There's no way that real estate, after, when all the other indicators, when people don't have money, when we're behind that far, real estate is going to tank. So
it's interesting times. What are you guys doing? Like, how did that go? Like the Flow project finally?
I don't know what the final numbers are yet, because there's a long process on the calls, right? So hopefully I should get some reporting soon.
The 2,500 was like gross net?
I never got an update on that yet. I'm still waiting to find out. But 5K upload. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess we'll see what it was. I hope that it was. I'm guessing it was gross though, based on, I don't know. I hope it was net. But Yeah. I got to see what the next promotion is going to be too. So I stopped doing the days of the week schedule for YouTube. I'm just doing good videos, and I'm not scripting them out, but I'm doing detailed outlines for them. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, the next one is the flash sale for Simple Programmer on the 15th through 17th. Although I swear someone was contacting me, maybe Kazi was trying to get in earlier too. And then we've got your mental toughness offer from April 29th through the 2nd of May.
Hang on just a minute.
Okay.
So hang on. Sorry, I missed the last 1 minute of the conversation. You said you did.
Oh yeah, I said I took away the daily or the themed videos for the days of the week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we're just gonna do videos that I think will do well, and I'm doing scripts doing outlines for them. So, and I also decided with that, it's better to have. I mean, I'll get better at it, but it's better if it looks like maybe I'm looking at something as an outline, from time to time, glancing back, and some of that can be edited out and whatnot. But it would be better to have that and have the content be more concise and to the point than for me to deliver fully to the camera and appear completely unscripted. You see what I'm saying? And have it be more of a mess, right? So it's a better trade-off because the content will be better.
I'm working on a video for Man's Search for Meaning for Evan Carmichael.
Oh, right? Good. That's perfect.
Perfect book at the perfect time, right?
Yeah, good timing too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I was thinking, okay, I want this to be the best damn video on Man's Search for Meaning ever.
Right.
Right. I realized the only way that will happen is if I keep the script better and better and better.
Yeah.
It will not happen if I just try to wing it. There's no way by winging it, I'll be able to compete with the best script that is out there. Even if it's winging it directly, with my mind maps, it still will not have the same effect as a completely the best possible script, the most detailed, highest quality stuff I could put. So if this has to be the greatest Man's Search for Meaning video ever, then I have to script it, and I have to do multiple iterations of the script, and I have to edit and re-edit and really make it the best damn script ever. And that, if we do that, that video has the potential to go to millions, given the topic right now and the book. So I've spent more time on that book than any other book I've done in a long time, but I'm I'll keep writing and rewriting till I get it perfect. And
I agree. It's worth it in this case because of the reach that you're going to have on this. So
there's two overriding things. One is because it's Evan's channel, so it's going to automatically get pretty big reach. And also because the title of the book is very pertinent to where we are right now as a world. as
Yeah.
a civilization, as humanity. So all of that combined should be really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think it's worth trying to hit a home run on this one. So
Yeah. So if it takes a couple of days extra, no big deal.
yeah.
But I'm gonna give it all my time towards.
And then promote the hell out of it too. So
Yeah. Well, my promotion compared to what Evan's channel will do all by itself is like probably minuscule.
yeah. Yeah. I
Right.
mean, you can promote his channel or yeah, I guess that's true. Like your reach won't be as big.
He'll probably get like 20, 30,000 views within the first 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
And that's almost impossible for me to generate anywhere close to the number of clicks, even by email.
Yeah.
Though
so
his channel is struggling right now.
Yeah, I imagine.
I mean, he's doing a lot of COVID related stuff, but it's obvious COVID related stuff, right?
Yeah.
Not more of mindset stuff, but more like to deal with COVID. Well,
The thing is, like, people don't want to hear it unless they feel like what you have to say is relevant on it, right? So just because you're doing COVID-19 stuff doesn't mean that, there's plenty of sources of COVID-19 stuff. So
yeah,
at least at this point, people are hitting saturation.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the thing. What I think would work better on Evan's channel is if he's just talked about how to handle crisis, how to handle adversity, because people will trust him on that.
Right.
But COVID is more of a tangential topic for him. That's not his topic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. He's not a news reporter. He's not a personality journalist or anything. He's not like a personality who reports on anything. Kind of like Kevin or you, where you guys can basically do it for your personality's sake.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I told you I hired that SEO company, and just as a test to see what that. No, not the Black Hat. Just a regular, like, they're based out of Australia. I think they had contacted me, and they're like $250 a month. I was like, okay, for $250 a month, let's see what they can do. But I'm not getting any kind of, having any hopes on this. But if you like, they've ranked a bunch of keywords. Like, I'm on the first page for, like, I think it is what is self-confidence, and what is it?
Really?
Let me see.
Just make sure it's not freaking Black Hats.
No, it's legit. It's solid stuff that they're doing here. Where is it?
How are they building? What kind of links are they? Did they show you the links?
Yeah, they have a bunch of articles that they've created on different sites. How confidence works.
What is self-confidence?
How confidence works. Search on how confidence works.
But is that a big search term?
It's a decent one. Self-confidence itself, I'm on like page 2. So there's a bunch of keywords. How confidence works
is the volume is only 10 per month.
I don't think so. I don't think it's 10 per month. They had reports on but anyway, there's a bunch of them that are showing up now the rankings are definitely improving a lot. So it's looking good. Like, there's a bunch of keywords. They have like 50 keywords that the rankings are steadily improving for. So we'll see how it ends up working out. But for $250 a month at this point, it's well worth it. So.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how this all plays out and what kind of links there. I think the only thing you have to be careful is they don't build some bad backlinks which only hurt you.
Yeah.
Right, because we don't know for sure.
Well, one of the things that they're doing is
like, how are you verifying?
they're getting rid of bad backlinks. They gave me a report that showed all the bad backlinks and they're disavowing them for me. So
they're doing link building, right? All the work is link building.
majority of it, yeah.
Okay, good. Let's hope this actually works pretty well.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, for the price that I'm paying, like I said, it was a pretty easy investment to try it out. So even if wasn't even expecting any results, but I'm getting pretty good results. So we'll see what happens in a few months. Even just getting a few keywords ranked in the top spot will make a huge difference.
Have you done a lot of videos on self-confidence?
I've done a few of them. Why?
I'm just wondering because if you can rank your videos.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know how that's showing up on.
Self-confidence.
I don't see anything on YouTube on there. I'll have to look into that.
Self-esteem and self-confidence seem to be like going hand in hand here.
Yeah.
So you said you're doing a flash sale on Simple Programmer stuff?
Yeah.
This week?
I think it's next week or the week after. I think what I'm going to try and do also, well, what I'm going to work on, I think next for big project is building that, the course for Simple Programmer, the complete software developer career course, the one that I had planned out. I think it's time to do that now. Now's a good time to like get all that stuff ready and then launch it, at the, once this whole thing, the lockdown stops and people can go out and look for jobs.
How to market yourself? What do you think of that one?
I mean, I'm going to have that funnel set up. I'm working on that right now with my copywriters, working on putting that together, but that's not going to be the flagship product. The flagship one will be the one that's been selling the best, what people want is a complete software developer.
So for the current market conditions, is there anything you guys are planning to, now that you've tested out a couple of offers, like seems like the Flow project actually did well if you got 2.5K net already and more is coming on its way.
Yeah, I don't think it's a smart idea to alter the course, right? Unless you're gonna there's long-term strategy is better, right? Again, still anything else like trying to do short-term strategies here is a money grab, which is fine if you need the cash or if the opportunity is lucrative enough, but there's nothing lucrative enough that's gonna be worth the distraction of a money grab that's not a long-term building, right? I don't want to construct tents and spend time constructing tents, instead of building the building. So
Yeah.
No, with what you're doing, I think it makes more sense, right? Because if you do affiliate deals with people, you're expanding your audience at the same time, and you're using this situation to be able to get deals with people that might not want to do deals because they're selling their own stuff, but they can't sell their own stuff now. So if you can get those situations and they're profitable, then they're going to do deals with you in the future as well. And so I think that is a good strategy for you to pursue. But
yeah, I think affiliates or joint venture partnerships have always been one of the highest leverage things in my business, especially given the nature of the product, right? It's not a very specialized product per se. It has a very mass appeal. So it's easier to sell to wide audiences, to bigger
Yeah.
audiences, than it is to sell something like, marketing yourself as a software developer, which is a very software developer thing, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
also it is very specific to people who actually care to think about marketing that way. So for me, this is like, this would have been a great strategy even when business was thriving,
Right. Yeah.
right? This would still have been one of my top strategies, one of my top 3 strategies to build business.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is still one of the top 3 business building strategies. Like literally the affiliate deals we have done, they have added tremendous value to 2000 books, no matter what. So this is like going back to stuff that was already working for us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it
Just
makes sense. Yeah.
doing more of that, and like in fact finding a lot more partners now to do this with big audiences, big reach, and continuing to dig on that.
Yeah, as long as you keep the content going, because now you're seeing the results of being consistent with that content, right? Because you're getting now you're seeing that, it's like a long tail to it, but keep
And
on
also, like,
that same clip.
I think part of the thing is also because the topics are more pertinent to today's environment, right? Because my videos are coming out are on handling crisis, on handling adversity, handling difficulties, challenges, all of those things. So I feel like that adds to the overall momentum on YouTube right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's a factor, but I think the long-term consistency is the bigger factor.
Yeah, it's probably true. I'm doing one a week, irrespective of how this goes. But I'm
Yeah,
definitely tailoring everything towards mental toughness right now.
yeah,
As much as possible, mental toughness all the way.
yeah, that makes sense. It's funny. One of the videos that was scheduled for Simple Programmer, it was one that was planned far in advance, but it's the worst performing video on the Simple Programmer YouTube channel. And it is called, let me see what it is. It's so funny. It's got like 300 views or something like that. Oh, conferences are important for developers. I just had to laugh. I was like, when I thought that.
Why did you guys publish
it? I didn't publish it. Rodrigo's responsible for he probably didn't even think about it. He's probably like, yeah, this is just, it's in the schedule, right? So I was like, yep, this just shows you like no one gives a shit about it.
Oh my God. That's like so freaking tone deaf, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Of all the things you could have told people right now.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Of all the things we could have educated them on, conferences is the last thing they want to learn about.
Yeah.
But virtual conferences, that would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Virtual conferences would have taken off, would have actually done better. Top 10 virtual conferences to attend for developers right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Put all of Chuck's conferences in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's Chuck up to? We don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. The thing is too, like I mean, part of it too is trying to figure out like what do people, well, I mean, it's going to change, right? So people's concerns and what they're interested in is changing very rapidly from week to week, right? In fact, I just saw an article that was talking about like it was from one of the biggest affiliate, like what's it called? Not Commission Junction, like something farm.
ClickBank?
No, it was one of the big one, Pepperidge or whatever. I don't remember, but anyway, they were saying that like the buying trends, sales were down for sure, but the buying trends were changing like from day to day of people buying different things. And it's true, because if you think about it, right, everyone is sort of like the concerns of people when this thing first started, they were way different than they are now, right? And as we keep on going further and further without people getting paid, it's going to become less and less of education, and like, you see what I'm saying? Like the concerns of people are going to rapidly shift to different things. It's going to be more about like, it's going to start to move way more towards financial, towards getting a job or keeping a job, or those type of things is where things are going to shift. But
that is a good one. Like how to. That's why I still believe like how to market yourself is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it kind of plays into the whole like how to keep your job.
Yeah.
It's true. How to keep your job is probably the biggest thing on people's. Anything you can sell that would help people help people keep their jobs is going to do well right now.
Yeah.
Anything you can help people with survive, not thrive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the underlying sentiment right now.
Yeah, I've got a video coming out for Bulldog Mindset that's on priority one. That's basically.
By the way, we have the entrepreneurship one coming up on Bulldog anytime soon, or no?
Which one?
Remember the one we recorded, top 10 books on building an online
business? Yeah. That should be coming out soon.
Because that might actually work right now.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, I have a video called "Are You Going to Get Laid Off? The Real Truth."
Oh my God.
And that video is basically going to talk about how, yes, you are going to get laid off. And are you going to be able to find a job? No, you're not going to be able to find a job. But then the final part of it is, what can you do instead? Like, do you need a job even? Can you make money without a job? And then that's where I'm promoting Bulldog Mindset, is to talk about the idea of like, that I have diversified sources of income.
That's where you should be promoting how to market yourself as a software developer.
Well, this is for Bulldog Mindset.
I know, but
it doesn't matter because you can't get a job right now, right? So, I mean, that's for the future.
But you can get freelancing gigs with your how to market yourself, right?
Yeah, except that no one's hiring people for freelancing gigs right now. So, because no one's spending money. Not businesses. Like,
when business does come back, it's usually initially it's contractors and then it's full-timers.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a what happens is you have a stock to flow ratio, right? So think of it this way: like, you're going to have, when business comes back, you're going to have a huge stock, right? Inventory. So think about car manufacturers, right? This is probably the best way to think about this. Is they're still producing cars. Toyota is still making cars. Ford is still making cars. They're not going to stop making cars, but no one's buying cars right now. So it doesn't make sense to shut down their factories. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a huge supply of cars. And so for when everything opens up again and people are spending money, there's going to be an inventory of cars for a long time before there's a demand for new cars to be created again, even though they'll still be creating cars. So there'll be a huge stock. So supply versus demand, the supply will be extremely high. And so that's the same thing with business in general, right? There's going to be a huge inventory of stuff. So they won't need workers to actually, to up the production, right? Because the production's already there. Even factories that have laid off workers, there's going to be a big supply that's left. So until that supply starts to diminish, the inventory they're sitting on, they won't need workers to up the production. So we're going to have like a stagnation type of stagflation type of thing going on for a while, or if not a straight up deflation, while there's no hiring and there's no until that excess inventory gets used up. So yeah, so hiring job prospects do not look good. So
when layoffs come, the first people to go are contractors, and the first people to be hired are contractors when everything comes back.
Yeah, short-term hires.
Um,
Did you apply for you applied for the 10K, right?
no, not yet. I need to.
Dude, you're gonna miss the window. You need to do that. Like you should have done that last week. I don't know if you'll make it. You should definitely apply for it. There's also a paycheck protection program that opened up today. The only problem with that is basically you can get a loan for 2.5x your average monthly payroll. So, and it's forgivable, so you won't pay anything, right, as long as you spend it on payroll. The only problem with it is that it has to be people that you've paid that are residents of the US. So you can put
But
your
it
own
includes
pay.
yourself?
Yeah, you can put yourself in there. So you might be able to get some there. You have to apply it through a bank, though, unfortunately, for that one. The other one, the $10,000, you don't. I applied for the 10 grand for every single one of my businesses. So.
And did you put it as 1 employee or 0 employee?
For the businesses, some of them had 1, some of them had more.
But none of them had 0, even if it was just you.
Right, yeah. Yep.
Okay. I should apply for it today.
Yeah, it'll literally take you 10 minutes to apply for the
I'm not convinced if I will get that because I'm not a citizen. I'm a permanent resident. So that's why I was kind of.
I thought it said residents as well. Like I don't think it had that restriction.
Yeah, I will apply, but I was kind of worried about that part.
Yeah, no, it's worth at least trying to get that.
I should. Now is the time to do. I think digital marketer Ryan Dice just sent an email. They acquired 61,000 emails as a result of their last promotion.
Wow, that's
the
pretty
free
good.
access promotion.
Yeah.
61,000 prospects or leads, not prospects, leads.
That they can't monetize for quite some time, but eventually.
Probably not. Eventually they will.
Yeah.
What do you think of Russell Brunson's upcoming, or you've probably seen the launch stuff, right? For Traffic Secrets? His newest book.
Oh, no, I haven't. No.
He's launching it next week, I think.
Traffic Secrets. Okay. I'll take a look at it.
Yep.
Get your free copy, Traffic Secrets.
If I was in US, I would have already ordered the free copy. Because I like his books. I like his books. They're always good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The books are always like on point. I don't care for ClickFunnels, but the books are solid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, both the other one, Expert Secrets and .com Secrets, are really good. So
yeah,
I'll order it.
I'm basically doing his strategy, part of his strategy, which was the Dream 100 strategy.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing it right now as we speak, right? Working with all of my
exactly. Yeah.
affiliates and going out and reaching out to all of my affiliates and helping them monetize, and as a result, monetizing both ends of the spectrum. So I think part of the thing that got me into this group was I just like when we were talking about it, and the idea was that right now is going to be hard to sell compared to the idea of building your audience, which will be easier to do right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
man, his upsells are crazy.
I was thinking through it. You already started buying?
Yeah, he's got an insane amount of upsells.
I'm sure.
and add-ons. Like, wow.
I mean, part of the joy of ordering from him is to actually watch his upsells and understand what he's doing in those upsells.
Yeah.
Like that's how I like to do these days when I'm like ordering his stuff. I'm like, okay, how is he selling it? How is he upselling it? Because shit, I am always trying to upsell, and it's always you always have to figure out the perfect upsell strategy.
Yeah.
Is he selling funnel scripts? Is he selling also? Yeah, he's probably selling everything.
Yeah, he's selling everything pretty much.
What's the price
I don't
point
know
of the
if
part
I
right
can't
now?
even tell if I'm getting a physical book now. He charged shipping and handling, but he wants me to register for a private members area account to exclusive access to download all your bonuses, which I don't want to register for. All right, I'll assume I'm going to get a physical book. If not, then I'll just, there went my $10.
Did you click through all of them?
Huh?
You click
Yeah, I
refuse to all
clicked.
of the offers?
Yeah, I paid
How
shipping,
many?
so I should.
How many offers were there?
There was at least like 5. Like the first offer had 2 add-ons, and then there was I think 3 upsells, which each had add-ons as well.
Wow. What was the
Yeah.
total value, cart value?
Like if you bought everything, I don't know, probably like at least $1,000 or so.
And that's for someone like you who actually said no. If someone had
Right.
said yes, it probably would have gone even higher.
Oh
You would
yeah,
have,
yeah,
because the upsell might be different from downsell.
yeah.
This guy is crazy. But I bet his book launch will do just fine or even better than normal. Because right now, what does every marketer want? They're excited about getting traffic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think his launch is gonna just be, it's still gonna do pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I mean, the group of people that are always buying is people that are marketers. No matter what. It's the
Well,
easiest group to sell to, right? It's like no matter what. Yeah. So
well, because they they need to know how to market
yeah.
to sell their own products. They have to figure that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
Are you doing a home gym these days?
yeah, I'm just doing like mostly just push-ups and pull-ups, and then like I've got a few little weights that I'm just doing high reps. So I'm up to like 50 push-ups at a set. So
And how many total are you doing per day?
every Pomodoro break, I just been doing like a set of push-ups to failure. So end up doing like or whatever exercise. So end up doing like maybe 5 sets of push-ups and like 4 or 5 sets of pull-ups and then whatever other auxiliary exercise. I'm not even worrying about legs. I'm just because I'm running, so I'm doing a lot of sprinting as part of
But if you
the
did air
running.
squats, that would still be okay, right?
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I mean, you could also put a backpack with weights on it, or a lot of other things, or do
Or you
like
could do
one-legged
jump
squats.
squats.
Yeah, there's ways you could do it. I mean, to just maintain muscle, it requires a lot less than it does to build it. So even just doing high rep stuff, even if it's not high weight, will just maintain the muscle. So yeah, I had my marathon was canceled, the one that I was, so I had to run it solo. So I ran that like a couple weeks ago. And now I'm signed up for, well, I was supposed to sign up for a 50-mile race, but a lot of those are getting canceled already, ones that are in like June. So I'm trying to find a race that I can actually.
What's the earliest you think anything will come back?
Well, that's a good question. It's interesting because like this shit is not going to like resolve anytime soon. right? So, but at the same time, you have a competing factor of you can't just shut down businesses, right, for forever. Like at some point, the economic damage will be greater than, people will be like, yeah, I don't care. I'll play Russian roulette. Let's like if
The,
I had a 1 in 6 chance of dying, I'll take it because I'm gonna starve anyway. So,
yes, the only problem with and that is right, we could have actually stopped this carnage by just shutting down for 2 months and not having to do this carnage.
right,
Now
but
the carnage has gotten out of control, and there's still nobody knows what the carnage is going to be, anyways. And that's why
right.
the carnage is out of control.
So I think that will be like, well, here's what my prediction is. This is my prediction, and it's on the record now, since we're on video here, which is this. I believe what is going to happen is that they're going to accelerate. They already just announced today the antibody test to see if you already have COVID-19, if you've had it. So what they're going to do is they're going to mass produce these probably in the next 3 weeks or so. Maybe there'll be widespread distribution at that time. And then they're going to have everyone get tested to see if you've had it already, if you have the antibodies. And then everyone who has had it is basically going to return to work, that workforce. Like you're going to, you'll be able to open your business, you'll be able to hire people, you'll be able to have people working for you that have already had it. And so that will basically, I think that's what we're going to see. And it might even be that the provision is, all right, like if you haven't had it and you're high risk, you're on your own, like to make the decision. But I think we'll see like at least half of the workforce go back within the next, probably I would say that within a month to 6 weeks from now.
All right, that's an interesting proposition.
Yeah.
Here's my take.
Huh.
I think for as long as Trump drags feet on shutting down the country, we're going to not see any reprieve in this. We're just going to continue down this random ass trajectory of not knowing where anything is going. But once the whole country gets shut down, we'll probably need 6 to 8 weeks for this thing to calm down, like literally the spread to calm down. And that's when the country can get back to work. So 8 weeks from the time Trump actually decides to put a real shutdown on the country. Until the country has a real shutdown in place, this shit is just going to keep on raging. The challenge is that the antibody testing that you're talking about, these guys can't even freaking produce enough. They can't even do enough tests on COVID right now. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, but all this stuff will be all this stuff will be upped in production at this point.
Well, they are trying. The max, US is maxed out right now. We're in March. We've gone through a whole month. We're in April now, and we still cannot do more than 100,000 tests a day.
Yeah.
That is sad. 100,000 tests a day, 10 days takes 1 million. Yeah. A month takes 3 million. At that rate, it will take 100 months to go to 300 million people.
Well, I'm pretty sure that capacity is going to increase pretty rapidly.
Yeah, but it's not boosting as you would like it. And that's why we're not even seeing as many positives right now, because the max they can show positive right now is 25,000, because 25% of tested cases are coming out infected right now.
Right.
So all the people who are saying, oh, the infections are not going up dramatically, it's only because we cannot test enough.
Well, I mean, also people are only presenting for testing when they're like under certain circumstances. So
but even those like I was like, literally there are labs that have 100,000 backlog test cases that they can't process. They're like 4, 5, 6 days behind on those things. That's
well, they have instant tests now, so those.
Yeah, but someone's got to produce that fast enough.
Yeah.
And get that out in the door. So, like the testing capacity is abysmal right now. 100,000 is nothing. We need millions a day.
Yeah. Well, by the time that you have that, it'll be too late. So that's the thing.
That's the other problem, right?
That's the country's not going to get shut down. It's not going to get shut down. It's just not going to happen at this point. It's too late. What's
Right.
going to happen
Right.
is we're going to suffer both the effects of the of almost an unmitigated defense as well as a destroyed economy at the same time. That's my prediction. Is that we'll have to go back to work and we'll die anyway. That's
this is
prediction.
like, this is the classic case of inability to make decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. A decision would have saved both.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Going one way or the other would have worked, right?
Saved both. Would have saved both.
The middle ground is where you get hurt the most, because if you completely shut things down from the beginning, like you said, you'd have just the economic pain mostly, right? Like you would severely mitigate
and very, very minimal economic pain, really.
Yeah.
Because if businesses know exactly 2 months is all we need, everyone will find a way to go through it. The economic pain would have been minuscule.
Right, because if you know that you just have to survive for 2 months.
There's no uncertainty there. It's 2 months, survive it, and then we'll be back in business. Let's go through it.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Right? So the lack of decision has killed both ways. Has killed the business and is going to kill so many people.
Yeah, yeah. And if you went the other way and you just left it unmitigated, then you would have saved the economy. Like either choice would have been better than the middle ground choice that we're at now. So
yeah, I mean, if you went the other way, you would have saved the economy. People probably would have died, and but at least something would have survived. This way, you would have probably saved both, but now you're saving neither, and this is like carnage of both. Like you just keep going down this rabbit hole of not knowing what. The uncertainty is the worst that it has ever been, and that's showing in the stock market.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that things are going to get a lot worse. They're not going to get a lot better. There's no reason to think they're going to get better, because even there's all these what if scenarios. Like even what you said doesn't work. Even if you did do the 2 month shutdown at the very beginning, the problem is that you can't do this in isolation. You have the rest of the world. So, and here's a bunch of the issues that I see. One of the biggest ones is, even if you could combat this, the problem is you'd have to keep all your borders closed for a long time, because the rest of the world is not going to be able to handle it. And so this could go on for years. And so eventually what you're going to have to do is, I mean, the only thing you can really reasonably do is slow down, like they're saying, flatten the curve for the hospitals to reduce the overall death rate so that they can handle it. But ultimately your population has to be exposed to it. Because
yes and no, because to your argument that America would have to shut down and close borders, I think America is a pretty big economy and pretty self-sufficient economy, to the point where we could have, if the virus wasn't raging, the country would have survived. If
America just shut down their borders completely. So America is one of the few countries that could do that. No other country could do that. All other countries,
I think,
depend on imports.
But that's only fair. Like to say that America could have survived it is huge.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Right now we're talking hundreds of thousands of dead, which no country is ever going to, no country is even close to that number.
That they're going to have that much of a death rate?
Yeah, not even China.
Oh no. Oh yeah, believe me, China, their numbers are not correct. Their death rate is probably already exceeding.
Or Japan. Japan's population. Japan's population isn't really that small. Japan is like 150, 160 million. It's half of America.
Right.
For half of America, they're not going to have 100,000 cases, 100,000 deaths.
But they've already been wearing masks forever. That's their just standard way of operating. So by the time that
But I'm saying, okay, America would have survived. A bunch of other countries would have survived this, and they would have been able to help the world. Right now, nobody can help anybody because everyone is in despair.
Yeah, that's true to some degree. I don't know.
In case of a crash, you should put your own oxygen mask first, right?
Yeah.
Which we just totally forgot about that. I don't know, man.
It's a mess. Yeah.
I don't know how much you believe in Bill Gates and what he's doing. And if you are on one of the conspiracy theorists who thinks that Bill Gates is a evil guy who's trying to infect the whole world with the virus, or you believe that Bill Gates is actually doing something good. But Bill
I don't
Gates
know.
has been saying that until the country shut down for 6 to 8 weeks, because he's been in the forefront of the fighting the whole virus
Yeah.
and epidemics and um, vaccination and all those things. He's like, unless we have a complete shutdown, we're going to continue to rage, and everything is going to hurt, and nobody's going to know when it's going to end, and we're just going to keep hurting the whole economy and everyone in the process.
Yeah, I don't know. I at this point, I think it's too late. I think it's just it's going to be time to bite the bullet pretty soon. And
They're already biting the bullet. Like, what else do you do to bite the bullet?
is you just go back to work, you just open up things again, and then you just deal with the deaths. Like, because you're not going to prevent it, not really. It's, you can delay it, you can try, and even the countermeasures are not working. Like, I mean, California is a pretty good example. We're on pretty good lockdown here, but people are still out and about. And the stupid thing was there was no grocery store plan. This is probably the biggest problem, is like so many people, even that are obeying the lockdown, but then they're all congregating in grocery stores. So what's the point, right? I'm having all groceries delivered to me, which is, good, but not most people are not doing that. So, it's just, I don't see any solution. I think the best thing to just look at is what does the future look like? And like I said, that, it's bad. So make your, predictions based on that.
Yeah, my prediction is that until the country actually locks down, we're gonna have a rager here. We're gonna have a freaking complete rager going on, and $100,000 to $240,000 or 240,000 deaths is an underestimate, unless the country goes on a lockdown.
Yeah,
because there's no way of controlling this shit right now, and yeah, I think
here's another strategy that I was thinking of that would potentially work. So the virus mutates quite a bit, right? And there's different strands of it, right? So what if you found the least fatal strand of the virus, right?
And infect everyone.
Purposely infected a large portion of the population.
That is actually what vaccine is.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, different vaccines work on different mechanisms, but most of them work on either having a dead or severely disabled
mutation
virus.
Yeah. And that's, it just takes 18 months. They haven't been able to expedite that shit so far. Who knows, maybe this time around they will, but so far it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
It takes 18 months from the time they identify the virus to get the vaccine going. And the problem is, like, there's multiple variations of vaccines and nobody knows which one will work. So they actually have to ramp up production for a whole bunch of them. And hope that one of them will actually work in the masses. So it's a very expensive cause, and not many biotech companies can undertake something like that. Very few can. So
yeah, it doesn't. There's just no optimistic outlook. Is I think the biggest thing to know.
That's sad coming from someone who, like someone who would have been optimistic a month ago, or like someone who's actually believes in what Trump is doing. It's sad that we are at the point where we are actually saying there's no optimistic outlook anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, from the beginning, I like, as soon as it got here, I would have told you that there's no optimistic outlook. Like, it's bad, but I would have also still said, just bite the bullet and just stop trying to control the spread of it. Just let it be what it's going to be. And I still think that is the best overall strategy. It would have been the best strategy. Now that's not an option, because you've already paid so much of a price. So you should continue paying the price. I would agree with you. Like the best strategy would be to go on a complete lockdown for some period of time at this point. Early on, I think the best strategy in my opinion, would have been to just let it rip and deal
Well,
with it. Instead,
that's
I
the
mean, you
thing.
could
Like the
figure out ways to
sooner,
deal.
the
Yeah,
sooner you, the sooner you put a lockdown in place, the easier it is on the whole system, because the fewer deaths, fewer people panicking, fewer businesses going under. Everything feels way more in control because it's not raging. The
yeah,
virus is just not growing as bad as the remaining world. We can handle this shit. I remember you and I having that conversation in the gym almost a month ago.
yeah.
And I think I was saying, like, hey, man, let's just shut the country down. And that's all we need to do for a few weeks and we'll be fine. And that's really like, I'm pretty sure Fauci has been saying that all along to Trump, but Trump has his own ways of doing things, you know?
Yeah, well, part of it is that you've got the problem between state and federal power, and right now, a lot of states, everything is still open.
12 states, to be
Yeah, I mean,
precise.
California and New York have been shut down for a while, but
Texas and Florida and are like all of the Midwest and the South,
yeah,
Arkansas, and all these idiots who are like saying, "Oh, religion is an essential service, so you need to keep the churches open."
yeah,
That's happening. It's happening right now. Like
I
they're
know, I
allowing
know.
church services. Like they're thinking they're immune to this shit.
Well, that's the problem. Is like they have
Well,
their right to it, but
they
they're
do have a right, but at some point, federal government is federal for a reason. They
well,
do have overarching powers over all of that.
they don't actually. They don't have powers over the state. The state has its so that's, I mean, and set up that way on purpose, but yeah, it's yeah, there's
There
no
are there are emergency laws where states lose their powers.
no, it works the other way actually. It works more so that the states gain more power. The, it's designed that way on purpose so that you can't have a federal government that is able to dictate and also provides for so that there can't be a dictatorship. But regardless, like there's just not a good solution. Like there's you even in lockdown, like okay, so consider the most lockdown, like California, New York. It hasn't even really made much of a dent in the control of it.
Washington
So
state has. Washington state was the earliest rager.
uh,
Look at their cases. They are not even in the top 10 anymore.
yeah, but their population is not anywhere near California or New York.
California is not that bad compared
Yeah.
to New York.
Yeah,
New York,
compared to New York, but New York had the lockdown even before California.
yeah, but New York had some major seeding problems. They already had
Yeah,
that one church that had basically devastated the whole city.
yeah. So,
And New
well,
York is not this. New York is definitely not the city you want to be in a situation like this. That's the worst possible place to be.
yeah, for sure. Well, Louisiana is the worst now, is basically because of
I mean,
Mardi Gras. People were partying Mardi Gras.
they're
So
just a bunch of idiots. Let's not agree. Let's not forget that either.
yeah. So I don't
I
know.
mean, who was it? Georgia governor? Georgia governor said, we didn't know until
Yeah,
24 hours ago that you could
it,
actually transfer the disease through asymptomatic people.
yeah, yeah. Like every fucking person who has an internet connection already knows that. So
Until
yeah.
24 hours ago, like, what are you doing? What have you been doing all this time for the last
Right.
1 month? Where have you been, dude? It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now, all around the world, now the joke is that America is number one in everything, and now they are number one in COVID as well. So hey, power to America.
See, I had here's another plan. This is what I think would actually work and could work in the future is so what if you had like areas of cities, right, that you created that had perimeter control and they were safe cities essentially, right? Like so the only way that someone can get in is if they go through quarantine for 14 days and then they can pass in into that area. It's it'd be complicated to set up, but essentially you could create sickness-free areas And
So you'd keep the zombies outside
yeah,
and keep the fresh people
So if you-
inside. Kind of.
yeah. So if you wanted to, like, to get into one of these areas, you would just have to, go through quarantine for 14 days, and then you can get into that area.
Yeah, assuming 14-day quarantine is going to be the thing that is the truth every single time, or we don't know what the laws would, or what science would be on the next virus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or whatever the quarantine, timing is of, you would eliminate all of
And
the.
inside of there, you only get 1 foot by 6 foot of space to just literally just have your place to lie down.
Yeah. But you won't get sick, and you can.
But you won't get sick. You'll be safe.
And you can interact with people. So
Yeah, you can walk around, you can do whatever you want, but you won't have much space because the country is called Luxembourg. And you're inside and you can't go anywhere.
yeah. We'll see. How's it
And
looking in India? I think that's when that's gonna blow
in
up.
India,
at
we had
point.
some stupid, like there was this Muslim congregation in a mosque. There was like 1,000 of those guys in a mosque for like 14 days. And no, 2,000 of them. And suddenly they
Yeah.
all let loose, and turns out like half of them have COVID. And now
Yeah.
they're spread all over the country.
The reported cases are pretty low still, but I think that's just because testing is pretty low in India.
Yes, that's probably true. But
Yeah.
I went to the COVID-19 isolation ward.
Yeah.
I was actually there in Jaipur's main hospital that is handling COVID. And I was there. The beds are empty.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
But,
just getting ready for it.
Yeah, they're just getting ready for it. So
okay. So here, this would have been the best strategy. Okay, this is the best strategy to handle this. So instead of shutting down the whole country, okay, and instead of giving $3 trillion in stimulus packages and all this, right? So think about the total cost economically. First of all, there's $3 trillion, okay, and then there's the $10 trillion maybe of GDP economic damage, whatever the right. I mean, we're talking maybe like, let's say 10 to 13 trillion dollars worth of damage. So instead of doing that, suppose that you just the federal government spent a huge amount of money, let's say $1 trillion, on just building makeshift hospitals as rapidly as possible and hiring as many nurses, right? You can train people to handle COVID-19 very quickly. You only need so many doctors, right? Lay people could go through a 1-week training program to learn how to operate ventilators. And then they went to big businesses like GM and any factory, and they said, we'll give you, twice whatever your monthly factory production costs are to just make ventilators. You make masks, you make whatever we need, right? And engineers to build buildings or hotels. We'll buy your hotel. It's now a hospital, right? So if they spent that money, maybe it would have cost $1 trillion or $2 trillion. Okay, but they would have had the system in place to be able to take care of everyone, and then you could just let everyone continue to work, and just knowing that you're not going to get overwhelmed for the hospital system. I think would have been the best strategy.
Well, the assumption is that you could actually train a nurse or a doctor that quickly.
You can. You can, if you had to for a week, in order to be able to treat one specific thing, just pneumonia, just with a ventilator, like it could be. But there are
other things that are going on, other physical ailments that people have too. So you can't just transfer all the nurses and doctors over to this, right?
No. You would create a bunch of new. You would just hire a bunch of new people. Right?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing in all of this is the fact that the health system has been overrun. Or will be overrun. It's not even close to, like, I think people don't even understand, like, when we're talking exponential effects, we're not even anywhere close to the peak of the curve right now. We're actually still in the early stages of that exponential effect that you can't even see. But you won't even be able to notice the truth when 20 days from now or a month from now, when we'll actually be going through a much higher level. of reality. What we're like right now, 1,000 people a day are dying, right?
Yeah,
COVID?
something like yeah.
That's going to continue to increase right now.
Yeah, at some point until we hit the mystery point of
There's no mystery. The only mystery is how much quarantine we do.
no, there's a mystery. The mystery is how many people are unknowingly infected. And if that number is high, it's good, because that means that the herd immunity effect will start to kick in, and you won't have a logarithmic growth anymore. That's the mystery. That's the thing that we don't know.
But that's not a scientific thing you bank your whole effort on.
No, you can't bank it on that. But
so the only thing that's controllable, or that was always controllable, was quarantine measures or isolation measures. Everything else was just like mystery and in God's hands, and like you have pastors screaming that God will save you, and the mystery will come and save you. That's all you have, right? So until you have exact numbers, there's no knowing when that thing happens.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a very dangerous game to play.
Well, you know it when you see the rate of slow down, the logarithmic rate of death slow down. That's when you know it. You can project where that curve will be,
right.
because
and
as more and more people get infected and have been infected, the transmissibility will reduce, and that will actually logarithmically go down, because of the fact that, like, if you, let's say that you're one person, you're infected.
At that point, we're talking like a number that is so large, and it will have already caused so many deaths that it would not be worth it to do, like to actually think about it. But because think about it, right now we're at 250,000 cases. For the herd immunity and for everyone else to have, or for enough people to have it so that there's a lot of immunity in the system so that others are not getting infected anymore, we're talking 20, 30, 40% of America to be infected. Not like 1% of America to be infected, right? 20%.
It depends on the virus. It depends on, so for example, measles requires an 80 to 90% herd immunity for it to not be transmitted.
Because it is that transmissible. This one is not as bad, but it is still pretty bad. Like the doctors are in hazmat suits and all that stuff, and they're still getting diseases, right? They're still getting, I think in Ontario, I was just talking to one of my affiliates in Ontario, 10% of the infected people are doctors and nurses. In Toronto, Ontario area, that's how bad it is. But anyways, the key there, if let's say just 30% would mean 100 million Americans infected.
Right.
It's a large number to wait for.
Yeah.
Especially if you're at 250,000 right now.
Well, what do you think the real number is right now? It's not 250,000.
It's probably 1 million.
It's probably a lot more than that. It's probably at least 10 times whatever the reported number is.
Yeah. I do 5x. So you say 10x, 2 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from a logarithmic scale, it's not very long before you'll hit 100 million.
2 to 100 million is still probably, it's quite a ways away. Like we're talking a whole month of exposure here.
Well, it's a month or less. Yeah. But
a lot of deaths in the process as well, though.
Yeah.
100 million means 1% of those people dying, or 0.1% dying, 0.5% dying.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to know. Like, probably of the unknown infection, the rate is probably 0.5 or somewhere between 0.5 and 0.1, right? So,
but the known is 1%.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Right. So, this could take down 500,000 before we get to that level. Can we do that? Like any math that, like, I think let's talk stoicism, right? What's within our control and what's not what's outside our control. This game is outside our control. We can't really play that game. Completely outside our control.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is outside of your control. The only thing you can do is,
the game that was always within our control was shutdown, lockdown.
Well, whose control? Your control or my control? Right. The game that was always within our control was nothing. Was
within the government's control.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about what's within our control. If we're talking about being a stoic, so we got nothing. There's nothing in our control.
if
Only
we had
just
to stop
staying home,
governments,
not getting infected yourself. That's the only thing that you have.
the herd immunity monkey called Boris Johnson was the first to get infected.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, man. This is gonna be an unfortunate conversation for the next 3 months, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Maybe
pretty
even
much.
4.
Yeah. What happened to fucking Jeffrey Epstein?
Is he dead?
He still didn't kill himself. So I don't see those memes. What the hell? Everyone forgot about Jeffrey Epstein already? What the fuck?
All I see is memes of girls coming out of lockdown with unibrows and mustaches and grown nails. That's what I see all over the place right now.
Yeah. All right, let's do our thoughts for the
Yeah, let's
week
do
then.
this. All right, I will go first. It's a thought from the book Man's Search for Meaning, which I've been studying over the last few days. And this is a very powerful thing. It says, suffering ceases to be suffering when you find meaning in that suffering. So, in the midst of this crisis, in the midst of this suffering, in the midst of all of this madness, I think one of the most important things we can do is find meaning. Because is the meaning going to be that I have to suffer through this, which will be terrible? Or is the meaning, like, you can make your own meaning? That's the beauty of meaning. You can create your own meaning in this midst of suffering. Is the meaning going to be that I'm going to come out stronger, that my business is going to come out stronger, that it's going to be good for me, that I'm going to survive this and it's going to make me much tougher in the long term? Or is the meaning going to be that this is hell, this is horrible, it's going to crush me, it's going to crush my business, it's going to crush my life, blah, blah, blah? The meaning is up to you. You can decide the meaning, and the suffering can stop once you choose the meaning, once you decide to find meaning in the midst of the suffering.
I guess I'll say something somewhat similar. Since we've been talking so much of what we should have done or could have done or how things may play out. I would say that what's important to remember is that you have very little control and to focus on the things that you actually do have control over. While we're having fun speculating and talking about this stuff, it has no real purpose. Like, it's not like, it doesn't matter if I come up with the perfect solution or you do, or if I'm right or if you're right, or anyone's speculation on this doesn't matter, because it's not going to change anything. But what does matter is what we accurately predict based on what we know about the future. That's what matters, and how we respond to that and what we do. Again, I think a lot of people are waiting for things to resolve or hoping this or hoping that, instead of, the question is like, okay, what is the situation right now, and how are you going to respond to it right now in order to maximize, whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. It's, if it's your business, you got to figure out what you got to do right now, and then also looking at the future on what's most likely to happen and planning for that, instead of thinking about if things were different or waiting for things to be different. Like, what is the actual situation now, and then what should you actually do right now, and what can you actually control? The things that you can control are the things to focus on, even though it might be fun to talk about some of this other stuff. So
Yep.
All right,
man, good stuff.
Yeah.
You take care.
All right.
And see you next week.
Yeah, out of quarantine next week.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, see ya.